Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Today is exactly 1 week before the bow opener in Tennessee this year, and I'm running out to check my cameras one last time, and that's going to tell me where I should be sitting on opening day of bow season. Probably not going to do a whole lot of hunting in bow season. Last year I felt like I pressured the deer too much, trying to hunt and bow too much. By the time gun season came, the deer were nowhere to be found for the most part. But I'm gonna run, check my cameras. I'm only gonna check 3 because one, I forgot to put a card in, and well, no, I guess that's all we got at this place right here. So I'm gonna go check 3, and hopefully we see some deer. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me and show you the highlights. Hopefully we have some deer on camera, but I know we'll have a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I shouldn't say I know, I hope. But let's run, go check the cameras here. When you're walking through the woods this time of year, you got to be sure to have a good big stick to get all the spider webs out of the path. When it's still warm out, we have those spiders that stretch across the path. I'll probably have to knock down about 57 on my trek back through here today. Good stick. Alright, so walking up to the first camera here, this is normally a pretty good spot. Last year there was a big 7-pointer that pretty much lived in this area, but look where I'm disappointed. All these rocks, that's a creek bed. This is normally a pretty heavy deer crossing because this is a deeper pocket or a watering hole, but there is absolutely no water. It is bone dry. You can see there's even plants growing. This is still part of the stream. There's plants growing in the creek bed. It's been dry for so long, but judging by the path here, it looks like we're still seeing a little bit of foot traffic up to this fence row, but I don't know. We'll see what the camera says. And this one, what brand is this? I don't even remember, but it takes the smaller cards, and I forgot to bring my adapter for the computer, so we're gonna have to see if I can remember how to work this screen here. So you can see 8:27 at 1 in the morning there was a doe here, so that's good, but it's not in the daylight where we could hunt them. So I'm not gonna make you guys keep squinting and straining to see that little bitty tiny screen. I forgot that one had the small cards, but I'm gonna leave that card out here. And story on this spot, there's a doe coming in about every other night at 1 to 2 in the morning. So if I hunt this on opening day, it may be a waste of time. If that's the best story we got, I'll hunt this spot, but you never know. There could be deer walking across 20 yards that way and the camera's just not picking it up. But like I said, kind of disappointed it's so dry. There's no water in this water hole here, but let's go upstream, and there's 2 cameras close to this same stream, and maybe those pockets still have some water in them, but we'll see. Hopefully we have a better story than what this camera told us. So if you couldn't relate to what I was talking about with the spiders, let me show you one here. You guys see the light catching off of that? So this is a old logging trail I'm walking up through here. Literally, I've already knocked down probably 20, and there'll probably 50 more to go, not kidding. So that's what I meant by having a good stick with you to knock all those suckers down. Alright, so I did a quick preview, and we do have some deer on this camera. There's the camera right there, and right up behind this one I have a ladder stand right there. It's kind of hard to see, but right across from this camera I have a salt block there. You can see how they've digging that hole out there. But let's thumb through these images real quick. For some reason some of these pictures got corrupted, but there's definitely quite a bit of pictures on here. Let's run through them real quick. Right off the bat, there's a small buck there, a deer there, and this is what on the 29th, so a couple of weeks ago. I'm just going to go through these pretty fast. They're all on the same night, it looks like. There's a raccoon on the same night. My goodness. And there's a deer and a raccoon in the same picture. That's cool. Man, I should have looked at how many pictures on here. This is a ton. Same night. Looks like 2 does. And on the next night, on that 30th, those bucks are back. That's a funky looking spike. I like those weird ones though. And there's a buck with a doe. That dude's just hanging out in front of the camera. And that's that other buck that was a little bit bigger that was with him the night before, a 4-pointer. And here's the daylight hour, 6 o'clock. There's that doe and her baby. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Love seeing the babies come out. Here's one. We got 3 deer. So doe, and that little baby. Pretty cool. And that bird again. Daggone. Okay, I think I know where we're gonna hunt the opening morning. So, this was on the 31st. That's 3 weeks ago now, but look at that. Daytime hours, 6:30 in the morning. Look at that buck. Yes, sir. Look at that. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. I think it's a good 8-pointer. Shoo, doggy, I hope he stays around. Let's go through all these pictures real quick with this buck. Look at him. Raise his head up there. Man, we got a front view here. There's a side view. Oh, look at that. That's a good deer. It's a good buck. He's got several deer around him right there. Now here's a good picture of a different buck I don't think I'd seen yet. On the 4th of September, right in front of the camera. Look at that. Pretty small one, but that's a beautiful picture of a deer. This is the kind of thing that gets my blood going, gets my heart pumping. That's a pretty wide rack. I would definitely shoot that buck, especially in bow season. And that was on the 4th at 11 o'clock in the morning. And there's 3 bucks right there. Shoo, doggy. And here's 2 bucks, and we got some turkeys back here in the background. And this is going to end up being a long video. There's that big boy there. Now let me show you something. See how this younger buck has red hair, and this older one, how white he is and how big his neck is? And he's the darker color, brown color. That's the one we want to shoot. Shooey, I hope he shows up. Okay, we've got does and bucks at all time stamps. Unbelievable how many that we saw in the daytime. And there was one big shooter buck in there. I'm so excited. I just about can't handle it. But there's over 3,000 pictures on there of just the past 3 weeks. So that last camera only had 35 pictures and 1 or 2, I guess most of them were deer, but 35 pictures. This one had over 3,000, so this one's definitely the hot spot, and it has those bucks coming in. So I got 2 more cameras to check actually, but one is not far from here. Actually, both of these next ones are kind of within a span of 200 yards. One's closer to that same creek, and another one's on the other side of that creek, so we might very well see those bucks on these next 2 cameras. The next one we're about to check is high quality footage, so it'd be nice to get a real good picture of that monster buck. But let's go see. This is going to be a long video, but yeah, if you like watching these deer as much as I do, it'll be alright. Alright, so This is that higher definition camera. On the 27th of August, had a little bobcat come through. Then, same day, shortly after, there's a doe. Here's on the 29th, a couple good pictures of a growing buck there. Good looking deer. And there's a doe, same day. And there's probably that same buck. Look at that dude get his mouth open. That's goofy. That's around 1 in the afternoon, deer coming through. Now this is pretty interesting. I don't know that I've ever caught this on camera before. This deer bedded down. Get some of this glare off. This deer actually bedded down in front of my camera, and it's a buck. So watch as it's moving. That one even has its eye closed. And here in a few frames, it actually stands up. So there it went. Went from sitting down to standing up. And I've got a ton of pictures beforehand of it bedded and moving around. So that's pretty cool. That little buck bedded right in front of the camera. Watch this, guys. I think it's that same deer. Unbelievable. This dude lays down in front of the camera. How cool is that? This joker's just like, hey, I'm gonna chill out right here and lay down. It is unbelievable. I have never had a deer lay down right in front of one of my cameras. Pretty cool. Watch that again. Oop, time to get up. Pretty neat. Then he brings one of his buddies over and says, hey man, I'm gonna lay down here again. This is my spot. I can't believe that. This deer just laying down here. That's 3 different times he laid down right in front of the camera. Pretty cool. Now this is still nighttime, but I think this is that bigger buck that we saw on the other camera. There's his rack with his head down. Yep, that's the big boy we want to shoot. Hopefully he sticks around. Now here's another decent buck. It's not that one big one, but well, you know what? It's kind of hard to tell. This one, he's in bright sunlight, so what time of day is that? 10 o'clock in the morning. So that might be the same deer. It might be a different one. I'm not completely sure. Man, there's flies around here. But between these 2 cameras, deer pretty much every day, almost all day, but surely in the mornings right at sunlight quite a bit. So I'm gonna plan on hunting this spot, actually the last spot, opener. At least sit from morning till noon, see what happens. But I really want to focus on gun season this year, so we'll see what happens. But definitely 2 bucks in there that I would swack without even thinking about it. But hopefully they stick around next weekend when we whip out the bow. But let's go check out this one camera that's 150 yards that way. It may or may not be anything. Between these last 2, there's 7,000 pictures. But pretty exciting. Let's check this one last camera. This is going to be a long video. Alright, so here's our last camera here. Here's a look down the creek bed. Completely dry. This one I put here because this is literally the deepest spot in the creek. You can see like right there, those big rocks are normally underwater. This is normally almost 2 feet deep. So you can even see the banks up there where the water gets sometimes. But even down here completely dry. But hopefully we'll still have some stuff on the camera. We are about to find out. Sometimes I've had big bucks on this camera, and sometimes this will have nothing on it. So this one only had about 35 pictures, but the pictures we did get are decent. So there was a deer. There's a buck there in the right hand corner, kind of hard to see. There's another one, we saw him on the other cameras. And that's one of the 2 big ones. It's a decent 8-pointer. And then I think that's that wide one we saw. That was on the 5th of September. Another little buck. Bucks there in the nighttime, 1:30 in the morning. They're still there around 3 o'clock. Another buck on the 5th, right in front of the camera. Got a coyote down there. Then on the 7th, another buck right there. 7th, different buck right there in front of the camera. And then that's it. So this spot definitely had bucks too. But the last one at this spot was 10 days ago. So I don't know. Between those last two cameras is where I'm going to sit on the opener for bow. But like I said, I'm not going to hunt a lot in bow. I'm not going to hunt a lot in muzzleloader. I'm really wanting to take some deer during gun season. Last year I hunted hard in bow and muzzleloader, and I think I just pushed too much, and I didn't shoot a single deer on this property. And you guys just saw how many deer there are hanging around. So don't want to scare them. I want to shoot a deer off this property, especially with the gun. But we got a month of bow and muzzleloader coming up, so let's see what happens, and hopefully bring you guys some good hunting footage. But as always, really appreciate you guys watching. You guys have no idea how much it means to me, but thanks for coming along, checking the cameras with me. Now I think we have a good plan for what we're going to do opening day of deer season. But thanks for watching. Big shout out to my friends at Heavy Metal. You guys go give them a call and check them out. We'll see you on the next one.